Hi, my name is Kevin Fernandez, and welcome to my channel, Genie. Today, we're going to learn the science fiction cooperative game, The Loop. This 1 to 4 player game, designed by Maxime Ramberg and Theo Riviere, and published by Pandasaurus Games. In this game, the evil Dr. Faux has built a time machine and is going through time, stealing all the precious artifacts and making them disappear. Will you be able to stop him as you catch him in a time loop? Or will time collapse on itself and everything will fall to shambles? Find out as we go to the table and learn how to play The Loop. Place the space-time board in the middle of the table. Each segment represents one of the 7 great eras of space-time. There's the dawn of time, the medieval era, the Renaissance era, the industrial era, the globalization era, the robot era, and the end of time. Shuffle the 10 mission tiles together without looking at them, then draw 7 at random. And slot one tile face down with the mission text hidden into each of the 7 eras. Return the rest of the tiles to the box, as they will not be used. Place the 30 red rift cubes in a pile next to the board, as well as the 30 green energy cubes. And I placed them in this little container I got from Board Game Geek for convenient access. And they will be off camera. Place the HQ board away from the space-time board. This is the HQ board. Place the game mode tile for the mode you've chosen on the board. And we chose sabotage because that is if you are new to this game. We're going to be just teaching the basics. Place the 3 vortex tiles to the right of the HQ board unless instructed otherwise by operational booklet. Use only the vortex side shown here. This is the vortex side, not the mega vortex side. But we'll talk more about that later. Shuffle the 7 faux cards and place them face down in a stack on the leftmost space on the cycle track at the bottom of the HQ board. Set aside the 30 starting artifact cards with an agent icon on them in the bottom left corner, and shuffle the 49 remaining artifact cards and place them face down in a pile on the top leftmost space of the HQ board. Each player selects an agent to play as and takes their tile, pawn, and starting artifact deck. Jordan's going to play as this one. You can tell which artifact cards belong to your agent by matching the symbol of the agent with the deck, and it'll be located in the bottom leftmost corner. Place your tile in front of you with the charged battery side face up. Place your pawn on the board on the origin era. Oh, for Mr. Time, his origin era is the Renaissance, and here's the dawn of time. I'll place them like this so you can see them better. And it shows it right here on their agent tile. Return all components for unused agents back to the box. Place the 28 Dr. Faux tokens, I know there's more than that, into the Dr. Faux clone token bag. Place the player aid nearby where everyone can see it. Reveal 2 faux cards from the deck to select 2 random errors in each of these errors. Place 1 red rift cube on the first rift slot at the bottom of the era, then flip the mission tile face up to reveal your mission there. So, we're starting with 2 errors in the robot age and the medieval times. And we'll just shuffle that up. And we flip the mission tile, reveal the mission. So we have this mission over here in the robot age, and we have this mission in the medieval times. Place 1 green energy cube in each of the other 5 eras. Do not place it on a rift slot. Anywhere else is fine. Then shuffle the 2 faux cards back into the deck, and I already did it. Draw a number of clone tokens from the bag based on your player count, plus each token in the era marked on its back without the image of Dr. Faux is face up. So we only have 2 players, so we only need 2. And this one goes to the medieval, and so does this one. Then we reveal the number of artifact cards by the number of our players, so 2, and we place each artifact card in its era of origin. So this one goes to the Renaissance, and this one goes to the end of time. Place each card face up under the origin era shown on the bottom left of the card. And that is how I know that. Plus, most of the cards will also match the color as well of the origin era too. So they covered all the bases for that. Each player shuffles their 6 starting artifact cards and places them face down next to their agent tile. And those are going to be off camera too. From their draw pile, each player reveals the top 3 cards of their agent deck and places them face up next to it to form their hand. So you just keep them face up on the table at all times. And again, that'll all be off camera. Read the section in the operational booklet about your current game mode. See if you need any special components, and return all unused special components or all special components back to the box. But I'll let you discover that on your own. Next, randomly determine which player will go first. And that completes the setup. If this is your first time playing the loop, you're going to need to construct Dr. Faux's tower. After that, though, you can play this game over and over and over again. You do not need to disassemble and reassemble the tower. Each turn is broken into 5 phases in the following order, starting with the Faux Phase. Dr. Faux, at the start of your turn, adds new clones and reveals a new artifact. The number of each that must be added is shown on the cycle track. This turn, since we're at the beginning, we add 1 clone and 1 artifact, and they both apparently go to the same place. And you determine this by the position of the faux deck. So, since this would be considered the beginning, we would add 1 clone, 1 artifact, just like what we did, and then if we were later on, it'd be 2 clones and 1 artifact, and then it would be 3 clones and an artifact. Whenever you add a new clone, draw a clone from the token of the bag and check the back. Like this. It shows you where you need to place it via the era icon shown. Make sure you place it with its front side face up. If there are not enough clones available in the bag, just simply ignore any that you are not able to draw. Whenever you reveal a new artifact, flip the top card of the artifact deck, check its origin in the era that it needs to go on the bottom left corner, and place it face up under the matching era. If the artifact deck is ever empty, shuffle the artifacts in the destroyed pile, which is this space right here, to form a new artifact deck. Reveal 1 card from the faux deck. This card tells you which era Dr. Faux travels to, so he goes into the robotics era. You rotate the machine to that era. So the middle of the 3 slots is pointing towards the era shown on the card. Next, Dr. Faux activates his machine. This is where the real trouble starts. Take 2 rift cubes from the supply plus 1 rift cube for each clone in the era on the card. There are none, so we only take 2. And it would only be this era. These 2 do not count. And drop them into the top of the machine. Once all cubes have landed, place them in the empty rift slots at the bottom of the eras they landed on. If you must place rift cubes on an era, but there are not enough slots for all of them, that era becomes a vortex. So, say we already had 1, 3 in the robotic age, and we added a 4th. This one, we'd remove that, and we'd place a vortex. When an era becomes a vortex, take these following steps. First, you immediately and permanently fail any mission. So if we were in the middle of this mission, we'd automatically fail it, and we can never get it back, even if it's not revealed. Remove the mission tile, if there is one, and return it to the box, along with any cubes it had on it. Slap a vortex tile from the supply into this era, where the mission tile would go. Return all rift cubes in this era to the supply, including the cubes in its rift slots and any extra ones that caused the vortex, like we did earlier. If any artifact cards are available in this area, destroy them. From now on, new artifacts that can be placed there, whenever an artifact would be placed in this era, is instead destroyed. So, this hoverboard on wheels, it is a robotic era age card, and it would go here, but because it's got the vortex, it is automatically discarded into our destroyed artifact pile. Whenever a mission is completed or removed by a vortex, immediately reveal a new mission tile in Faux era. If there is no tile there, or it is already revealed, then reveal the tile in the next clockwise era, like so, that has an unrevealed tile. If all tiles have been revealed or removed, do not reveal a new tile. Whenever an artifact card is destroyed, place it face up on the destroyed artifact pile in the top right of the HQ board. If an ability destroys several cards at the same time, place them in the order of your choice. When you are done resolving a Faux card, place it face up below the HQ board. It goes right here. Resolved Faux cards should be arranged in a row so the team can see which eras Dr. Faux has already visited this cycle and which might be visited next. Once Dr. Faux has done his worst space-time, you can let loose and perform your actions. You may perform each of the 3 available actions as many times as you wish in any order until you decide to stop or don't have the resources to continue. You must always completely resolve an action before beginning a new one. So you can, number 1, spend 1 energy cube in your era to move one of the 2 eras adjacent to yours. So I can remove an energy cube from the Renaissance, and I can either go to the Industrial era, or I can go to the Middle Ages. And I think I'll go to the Middle Ages. If there are no energy cubes in your era, you cannot perform this action. So number 2, use the ability on any ready artifact card in your hand, then turn it sideways to show that it has been done. So I can use my ionic temporograph, I'll turn it sideways, and I can either, in another agent's era, I can either add an energy or remove a rift. So let's say Jordan was here. I can remove a rift from there. Each artifact's ability is described at the bottom of the card, as I showed there. When you use an artifact ability, you must resolve its effect in the order they are written, and you must resolve as much of the ability as you can. If you are only partially able to resolve an ability, you may still use it. And then finally, Dr. Faux may be powerful, but the agency has developed a secret weapon that gives us a fighting chance, the loop. This technique allows you to drain energy from your era, ready to exhaust your exhausted cards, and use their abilities once again. To perform the first loop action of your turn, spend 1 energy cube, like so, in your era, then choose one of the elementary dimensions, ready all exhausted cards in your hand with that icon. Okay, so let's say I had these 2 cards exhausted, and I chose all cards with this symbol on it, this little spiral. Well, then I can ready both of them. You can take multiple loop actions in the same turn, but each time you do, the energy cost of your next loop increases by 1. So doing a second loop costs 2, doing a third costs 3, and so on. Artifacts with a black hole icon, this icon, can never be readied using a loop. Once per turn, you may take a free move to any adjacent era without spending 1 energy. Indicate that you've used your free move by flipping your agent over to the exhausted battery side, and then move your figure regularly. Dr. Faux's clones are tough, but they have a fatal weakness. If a clone ever enters its paradox era, it will be immediately destroyed by a temporal paradox. Paradox era, where a clone can be destroyed, is shown front of the token, the little monitor. If a clone ever enters this era, it is immediately removed and returned to the bag. The main way to move clones is using artifact with a clone icon on it. So that would be like my mechanical grappling hook. It says pull 1 clone from an adjacent era. That means I can take a clone and move it this era. And if I had a card like Excalibur, it allows me to do another action which is called pushing. This is where I can push a clone into an era of mine to another adjacent era. If a clone ever enters the era on its monocle, it is immediately removed and returned to the bag. The main way to move clones is by using artifacts with a clone icon on it. So right here has the clone icon. At the end of your turn, take these following steps. Number 1, if you used a free move, flip your agent tile back to its charged side. Place all artifacts in your hand into your discard pile. So these are the ones in my hand, and I discard them. Then every player, including you, with fewer than 3 artifacts in their hand, draws cards until they have 3. So 1, 2, 3, like so. If there are no cards remaining in the faux deck, start a new cycle. Once you're done, the next player starts their turn. If Dr. Faux's draw pile is empty, meaning that this is showing, cycle is over. Shuffle all 7 faux cards in the deck to a new draw pile and place it in the next step of the cycle. We now would get 2 clones. If there is no next space, the game is over and you lose. So, for example, this was here and we ended our turn, we didn't complete anything, that's it. And that's all you need to know to play the loop. If you have any questions about this game, please put it in the comments below, and I'll get to that as soon as I possibly. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell to be notified for videos just like these. And if you enjoy the channel as a whole, consider donating to Toys for Tots. This is our charity that we are giving a nice little shout out to. So, for those of you who don't know, we have been picking charities once a month to give a nice little shout out to. Right now we're kind of doing some famous ones. Later on, in January and February, we're going to probably do some little lesser known ones. But right now we're trying to do these ones. So Toys for Tots is a charity that donates toys, so that way children of lower economic circumstances can get a toy for Christmas. You can donate through cash or a toy. So if you have some old toys or if you want to donate some cash to it, you can just click on the link down below. They will show you the locations where they're accepting toys and all sorts of other stuff, and you can also choose to donate as well down there too. So please consider clicking down at that link and be on the lookout for our upcoming gameplay video on the loop. But until then, thanks for the views.